Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about tourists. God. I'll tell you something. Tourists are terrible. And I feel bad because I'm getting ready to be a tourist soon enough in Japan. My fat ass is going over there, and I tell you, I'm going to have the utmost respect for everything that I possibly can, but I'm sure it's impossible to be totally, 100% culturally respectable when I'm sure I'm maybe doing things out of the norm that are accepted over here. I don't know, but all I do know is that historically, online, tourists are some of the worst people imaginable. Most entitled pieces of shit you've ever seen, walking around, desecrating cultures, not really giving a good goddamn about anybody but themselves.
Cringy.
I just want to talk about some of the terrible things that tourists have done in the world. Hell, there's probably a long list that I don't even have myself, but these are some of the ones that I just wanted to talk about. Starting with our good friend, Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali is a well-known IRL streamer whose claim to fame is being an unrelenting, unapologetic troll.
Why are you being racist to other people in other countries? For money! For clout!
I've said it many times. I don't give a fuck. I have no morals. I'm a sociopath. I don't give a fuck.
Swing on it.
I'm a troll, dude! I'm just messing around!
He became well-known for traveling around different countries, harassing innocent people. And on his trip to Japan in 2023, he was seen repeatedly making racist comments and referencing the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki to innocent Japanese locals, just being a real piece of shit. At one point while on the train, he taunted several passengers about how they were, quote, going to drop another atomic bomb. He did this yet again to Japanese workers on a construction site before being screamed at and forced to leave. There was another incident inside of a restaurant in Osaka where Somali went live and purposely blasted music from his phone to annoy workers. And this led to a $1,400 fine for, quote, forcible construction of business. Which this led to a $1,400 fine for him, which is probably just a slap on the wrist to this little troll.
They asked him, like, are you making money off this? He's like, no, I don't make any money off it.
I don't make any money, I swear to God. He was found in Tokyo Disneyland Resort playing racially insensitive music to locals and filming their reactions without their consent. On many occasions, Somali's actions have led to him being assaulted by locals. Not only do internet onlookers approve of this, but Johnny himself seems to love the notoriety that comes with inciting the violence. His repeated bad behavior eventually led him to be banned from Japan.
Aww.
If anything, too, I bet this dickhead of it, he's like, hey, that's awesome. I'm banned from a whole country. Epic. But instead of learning his lesson, he traveled to Israel to continue his tirade in March of 2024. In Tel Aviv, he would continue to harass people to the point where he was chased down and beaten yet again.
Ow! Hey, don't touch me, man. Hey.
Then 2 days later, he was detained for sexually harassing a female police officer.
You a bad bitch. I swear to God. You a bad bitch. I'll take you to dinner.
It's a prank. It's a joke. After the Israel trip, Johnny tweeted that he was going to travel to South Korea next and threatened to slap a member of the K-pop group BTS. During the visit, he kissed and performed a lap dance on statues of peace, which are meant to honor victims of Japan's wartime sexual slavery during World War II. So twerking and kissing it and joke around. Played obscenely loud noises on a subway, such as speeches by Kim Jong-un and North Korean propaganda music. Verbally assaulted a convenience store employee after he was refused alcohol. Then assaulted another lady by throwing an unknown liquid on her and slapping her camera out of her hands. Can we just say, great guy. Can we say that real quick? Take a quick pause. Thank you for being such a good human being. Appreciate you.
Wait! We want to thank today's sponsor, PDS Damned. Last year, half of American consumers took on debt to pay for the holidays. Oh, God. That's the cold, hard truth. Many of us will get deeper in debt during this time. God damn. On top of that, so many of us are struggling with credit card debt, personal loans, collections, and medical bills. And the system is set up to keep you there. But our friends at PDS Debt can help you with a personalized solution just for you. I wish that PDS Debt was around to help me. If you're currently struggling with debt, making payments every month, but balances don't seem to be going down, PDS Debt may be able to help. PDS Debt is here to provide alternatives tailored to your specific situation. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies. And the best part is, there's no minimum credit score required. Save more while paying off debt in a fraction of the time. Start planning today. Get a debt-free analysis now at pdsdebt.com/papameat. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/papameat. pdsdebt.com/papameat. Thank you to PDS Debt for sponsoring the video, and back to the video.
At this point, the people of South Korea had had enough, and it was time to fight back. So now locals have been actively making an effort to find Johnny's whereabouts and teach him a lesson. I hope it's probably worse than just beating him up, because he doesn't seem to give a shit. Gets beaten up and he's just like, radical. The first incident was when his phone was punched out of his hands by a man who had been watching his streams to find his location. Stream sniping became a regular occurrence for Somali during this time. Then Somali and his friend Jindo were jumped and assaulted by a group of people soon after. Even groups of Korean YouTubers began hunting him down. And at one point, every single one of them went offline at the same time, rumoring that they had just located him via his stream and prepared to attack. Didn't want to make it easier to get in trouble for beating up this piece of shit. On Halloween, Johnny was punched in the face out of nowhere by a Korean YouTuber who was fed up with Somali's actions. And apparently, the assailant is another YouTuber by the name of Yoo Dal-gyeon, an ex-MMA fighter and UDT, the Korean equivalent of like a Navy SEAL, who was specifically hunting Somali down. Motherfucker is getting some legitimate heat. I love it. Most recently, on October 30th of 2024, South Korean Parliament caught wind of Somali's antics. He has since been banned from leaving South Korea as an investigation began regarding illegal drug use and assault charges. South Korea has intense laws prohibiting illegal drugs, and Somali may face up to 10 years for this crime. Meanwhile, the assault can lead to the max sentence of 2 years. In total, the potential fines for both crimes may reach up to $76,000. Don't let him leave. Just keep him around for a while. Throw him in a cage. I don't know. Do what you have to do. I'm a troll! I'm a troll! Some guy just comes over and is like, elbow drops on his head. But this is just one of the more notable cases that happened recently that kind of led for this video to be made. And even it's weird getting ready to go to another country and to even think that you can act like this. To me, going to a country that you don't speak the language, it's not your culture. It's almost like being invited into your friend's house for the first time and you're just kind of like completely, you don't want to touch anything. You don't want to ruin anything. Their dad's like sitting in the lazy boy just looking at you. Right. I'm just here to hang out. So not a big deal, right? You can't stay for dinner. Or we could talk about Americans harassing Japanese geishas. You ever see that movie, Memoirs of a Geisha? DVD cover scared me when I was a kid. It actually did. I just saw like The Grudge or something like that too, and I was like, huh. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. In Kyoto, Japan, there's been a serious issue with what is referred to as geisha paparazzi. Geishas are women that are trained in traditional Japanese arts like singing, dancing, and playing music, and they often perform entertainment for wealthy clients during parties. As they walk along the streets of Kyoto, tourists rush to take photos of them. I mean, that video of that woman, that fat woman, like, she's like, keeps getting up and she keeps taking photos, so she has to keep running up. The geisha is definitely just like walking in paths like, please stop this, but too weirded out to say anything. Good God. Maiko, or teenage geisha apprentices, are very young, making it even more inappropriate to treat them as some sort of attraction. And in 2019, the Gion, a historic neighborhood in Kyoto, pushed to ban photography. And in 2024, Kyoto has now banned tourists from parts of the geisha district. You can't even go there anymore because people are just the worst. Because they're just like, look at, you're so cute. This was due to the rise of aggressive tourists going so far as to chase down women and tug at their kimonos desperately to take photos. Please stop! Some would even pull out their hair ornaments and hit them with cigarette butts. The locals fear that the over-tourism after pandemic will continue to cause further harassment as well as increased in litter. Yeah, of course. Can you imagine being like, let me take a picture? Do you think that's people being like, all right, fine, you, and flicking at you to get their attention? Hey! Did I scare you? Did I get you?
Well, a lot of times I go like this. Like, don't look at me.
My God. Nick is going to Japan with me. I gotta keep an eye on your ass, dude. That was unbelievable. Or we could talk about tourists leading to animal harm. Are you having a good day? I'm here to ruin it. I hope you're having a bad day now, because that's what this video is trying to do. This is a comedy video, I swear. Not only do bad tourists lead to locals being harassed, but in many horrific cases, their needless, selfish actions have led to the direct harm or killing of wildlife. Make sure to keep that smile up. You smiling? Let me see that smile. Buckle up. We're gonna talk about animals dying now. Like the death of a baby dolphin. In 2017, a baby Francicana dolphin was found on its own on a resort beach in Mojakar, Almeria. Is this the Chronicles of Narnia? Where the f is that in the world? Near a large group of tourists. Oh, good God. The small animal was separated from its mother and was weakened and afraid. Was certain as a few short interactions and photos by the tourists became much more chaotic. Soon, a swarm of people surrounded the dolphin to pick it up, pet it, and pass it around to let everyone take selfies with it. This photo is haunting. That is horrible. I'm sick to my fucking stomach, dude. As they cannot stay out of water for very long, the baby dolphin eventually died due to dehydration. In some of the photos taken early on, you can see that children were covering its blowhole. According to marine wildlife rescue groups, the dolphin was scared for its life the entire time and could have been easily saved if authorities were alerted upon its discovery. It was also noted that the Francicana dolphins are an endangered species.
The threatened species only exist in a few Latin American countries and with fewer than 30,000 left in the water.
I'm honestly, I'm getting fucking depressed. Did we have to include that the fucking children were covering its blowholes, dude? Can we not have just left it with the fucking selfie, the dehydrated selfies, dude? You just had to be like, also, the kids were putting their little fingers in his blowhole. It couldn't breathe. Oh, good. Let's talk about the death of a seal pup. In 2022, 2 tourists killed a baby seal pup in an attempt to take a selfie with it. Why do people like selfies so much? Selfies are so fucking gay, it's unbelievable. Leave it in, too! I said it, they're gay! Leave it in! The Great Basket Island in County Kerry, Ireland is home to over 1,000 seals and is often having to put up with misbehaving tourists interacting with them. The 2 of them reportedly took the baby seal from the beach and chucked it into the ocean. Afterwards, they dragged it back onto shore in order to take selfies with it. Get back over here. What kind of logic is that? What the f? Young seals spend their first 3 weeks of life being fed by their mother before they must fend for themselves. Because humans were interacting with the seal, the mom was scared off. Because of this, the pup was unable to feed, which led to its untimely death. It isn't just no-name, non-celebrities animals either, right? I mean, now even people are starting to throw things at Moodang, the little baby hippo, little pygmy hippo, which this year, a pygmy hippo by the name of Moodang, which means bouncy pork, who gives a f, took the world by storm after a series of viral tweets showcasing how cute and lovable and playful she was. I even saw a TikTok of a girl who's like, I'm traveling 14 hours to see Moodang, and she did that like 6 times. How much free time do you have, dude? It's a pygmy hippo. Get over it. Moodang is exhibited at the Khao Kyu Open Zoo in Sriracha Cheruburi, Thailand. Whatever. As Moodang became a viral star, the zoo found ways to capitalize on her virality by opening up a merch line. Basically, they just started throwing Moodang on everything and selling it. This also just feels like torture, dude. I feel like these zoos. You know what I say? I say zoos. I don't f zoos, man. If you're helping an animal out, sure. Why the f do we have fat-faced f***s coming up and being like, hey, polar bear! Polar bear! F zoos, man. Probably some f***ing guy getting paid minimum wage has like a hose spraying off a f***ing like dying penguin. I don't give a f***. Shooting him in the back and shit. Totally. They even created a 24/7 live stream to see what she was up to at all times. It's awesome. Run around! Sadly, the notoriety Moodang brought to the Khao Kyu Zoo led to increasingly misbehaving tourists. Because as soon as mouth-breathing f***ing idiots get wind of anything, they have to ruin everything and anything. He's cute, huh? Hey, Moodang! Look at me! Look at me, Moodang! In order to get a reaction out of the pygmy hippo, people began throwing rocks and objects onto her. When tourists made their way to the zoo to see her, some were frustrated to see that she was laying down and not putting on a show. Him and my fucking liar. Hey! In response, many would toss things at her in hopes of capturing viral photos and videos, or simply to see her in action. People engaging in this behavior were threatened with legal action, and the zoo has since limited the amount of visitors allowed to see her at one time in order to keep things safe. They're probably beating the shit out of that fucking pygmy hippo. I'm never going to step foot inside another fucking zoo again in my life. I am not fucking going to any of them. Even like fucking, what do they have up in Japan? Capybara Cafe? Why the f do I want to go to that now, dude? What a great life for you. Do you like this? A man helps a calf rejoin a herd and it leads to its death. Is this, are we just talking about animal death or is this still about tourists? In 2023, a newborn bison had to be put to death after a tourist interfered with its herd. This video might break me. It occurred in Wyoming at the Yellowstone National Park when the herd was crossing a river together. As they climbed up onto the roadway, a man noticed that one was left on its own. Seeing that it was struggling to walk up the steep hill, the man picked the bison up and pushed him the rest of the way. This seemingly good deed causes issues for wild animals, as interfering with a young offspring can often result in the herd rejecting it and leaving it behind out of fear. And they noticed that it began to continuously approach the other cars and people on the road. To keep it from endangering innocent people, park officials ultimately had to euthanize it. In return, the man could possibly face a misdemeanor charge for disturbing wildlife, as well as charges that can carry up to 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. Just seems excessive. Are you gonna go to your mom? Are you gonna go to your mom? Okay. Speaking of Yellowstone, there are a lot of videos of people getting too close to bison and they just get completely destroyed. Let me see this little girl get tossed up. I want to see a smile get put on my face. Ah, you stupid little bitch. I love it. I like how other people just like, they left the little girl on her own. She's like, oh my God. You know, is that the Buffalo Wild Wings bison, you think? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want more of that. Give me more child death. I like that more. Also, tourists like to fall into the hot springs and dissolve, which is fun. Tourist. We're not going to Japan anymore. I'm refunding the tickets. Or I can talk about Chinese tourists who go nuts for jumbo shrimp. What is this life? Talk about animals getting euthanized, little girls get hit by bisons, and now Chinese people loving jumbo shrimp. During dinner at a Thai buffet in Chiang Mai, a chaotic scene takes place when a horde of Chinese tourists charge a pile of jumbo shrimp. Okay, there's no way me saying this cannot be racist. A horde of Chinese people flooding a pile of jumbo shrimp? In a video released in 2016, you can see people shoveling shrimps onto their plates. Some are using a second plate as a utensil to shove more shrimp onto the first. Okay, I mean, I'll be honest, it's a lot of shrimp. Motherfuckers love their shrimp. Holy hell. God damn, they all look so serious too. Not one of them have a smile on their face. It doesn't look like any of them are happy to even be there. They're all just like...
Chinese tourists got a lot of money, so they would go into like Thailand or Taiwan and basically be very rude.
They had that shrimp money now, huh? I want all the plates of shrimp I could possibly get. Commentators were appalled at the viral video, especially after seeing the aftermath photos revealing how much food had gone to waste after the whole ordeal. I don't even want it. Nah, I'm good. I'm stuffed. I ate 2 pieces of jumbo shrimp. Nah, I'm good, actually. China experienced significant food scarcity during periods like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution. As a result, having an abundance of food became a symbol of prosperity and success. For some, ordering more food than necessary is a way to demonstrate wealth and overcome past hardships. I just ordered this because you should see like a Mercedes-Benz. It's like having a pair of Gucci sunglasses or something like that. Jumbo shrimp. I like just like the one slice of watermelon. We did also want to get the watermelon in there too, because watermelon pairs very nicely with jumbo shrimp. Tourist flips a boat after refusing to stop taking selfies. During a gondola ride in Venice last year, Chinese tourists were launched into the water due to selfish groups' desire to take as many photos as possible. You know me with Chinese tourists and photos, dude. Up in Alaska, when I proposed to my wife up in Alaska, we went to go see the Northern Lights, whatever. I swear to God, there was 30 tourists with cameras dead sprinting back and forth, taking all these fucking photos. Like, unbelievable. To the point where you were like, just take it in for a second, man. Like, they were shifting in every direction to take videos and photos, which became problematic when the gondolier had to sail the boat under a bridge. He insisted that the passengers stop standing out of their seats and take photos, but nobody listened. Because of this, the boat was unable to stay balanced and tipped over. In a video posted online, you can see the groups of tourists crying as they desperately try to get out of the ice-cold canals.
Also, those canals are fucking disgusting.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That being oh God. You know what? Good. Let him fall over, man. I've experienced my own pain. I'm not gonna die on this hill. Or we could talk about all the times that tourists go to really nice places and they like to just say f it and vandalize all the property there, because that's fun. Because every place on earth is like your job's bathroom. Ancient temple, the exact same as my Amazon warehouse's job bathroom. I could just take my car keys out and just start carving my name into it. Good time. Which we can talk about tourists defacing the Kyoto bamboo trees. One of Japan's most ancient and popular sites, Arishiyama Bamboo Grove. It is known as the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which are precious historical places representing a major stage of Earth's history. Not just Japan, f***ing Earth, the planet we live on, okay? Despite the delicate nature of the site, 100 bamboo trees were found tainted with carvings in 2018. They're like, the pandas eat them, they can't be that cool, right? Tourists from all over the world would pass by this landmark, carving their names and other words into the bamboo to commemorate the experience. Because bamboo trees are connected to their roots, doing this not only endangers the carved tree, but the ones around it. This leads to tampered trees being chopped down. Disrespectful actions like this could lead to tourist spot being closed down for good in order to continue preserving this historical landmark. And according to the manager of the forest, what the f does he look? What kind of, is he a centaur? He was past the stage of anger and feeling deep sorrow. It's that thing where it's like when you go into like a museum, is your first inclination to be like, to touch things? No, you're just observing respectfully, right? Oh, this is beautiful. Also, who the f wants their stupid ass name like Steven carved into a fucking piece of bamboo? Idiot. God, man, people suck. Tourist and fiance tried to carve their names into the Colosseum. Yeah, the Roman Colosseum. It's romantic. UK visitors, of course they're UK people. UK visitors to the famous Roman Colosseum are facing possible jail time for defacing its walls in order to commemorate his time there with his girlfriend. He's just his girlfriend, dude. She's like, we should get tattoos. He's like, why don't we just carve our name to the wall? The motherfucker's trying to get out. The Colosseum is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Once again, fucking Earth. We learned about this already. While Ivan Dimitrov attempted to carve Ivan plus Haley, that's a terrible collection of names. Ivan Dimitrov. Haley. While Ivan Dimitrov attempted to carve Ivan plus Haley 23 on the wall, he noticed that he was being filmed by a bystander that began verbally chastising him. This man then gave the footage to security. Love that. I love that like police hall monitor guy. Look at this. Cultural Minister Gennaro Sangriano referred to it as, quote, an act that offended everyone across the globe who appreciated the value of archaeology, of monuments, and of history. That's a fucking deep insult, dude. Not even just being like, it's the Colosseum. He's like, archaeology, monuments to mankind and history. You, sir, have spat in its face. Ivan's just like, hey, bro, easy, bro. Take my demo tape. He was caught by police and faced legal proceedings. A long and apologetic letter was sent to Rome's mayor as his lawyers made a plea bargain to request, don't let it happen, dude. Fuck him. Fuck him. Yeah, what day can I not call? I have key. If I have key, can I not carve? It's like, no, start your fucking car, moron. Or we could talk about teenagers who carves his name into a 1,200-year-old temple in Japan. While visiting a Buddhist temple in Nara, Japan, a Canadian teenager named Julian carved his name into a wooden pillar using his fingernails. Every Julian I've ever met, some of the weirdest fucking human beings on earth. Also, Julian, really? Took his rat teeth and was wheedling them down. He's like, Julian, that's my name. The young man insisted that he did not intend to insult or disrespect their culture. I put my name there because I thought the place was sick. Can a man not just think some place is cool? Okay, fine. Regardless, actions like this can result in heavy fines and years of imprisonment. Due to his age, he likely will not be charged with anything severe. I think it should be the death penalty. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm fucking around. Or we could talk about how tourists break a 150-year-old statue for pictures. 17 German tourists, while on vacation in northern Italy, shattered a 150-year-old statue in an attempt to take a fun photo. It's going to fall and then we'll catch it and it will be very funny. In the video captured by security cameras, you can see the group stepping over the water to stand next to the statue. While taking the photo, a buddy on the other side jokingly pokes at him with a wooden cane. Was he a vaudeville character with the phone? He's like, it's just like my mother used to do to us, right? As the man falls into the water, they bring down the entire statue, which crumbles upon hitting the ground. Oh, the cringe, the absolute cringe. Yeah, oh, mein bad. Ist kommen to mein Geburtstag still? I don't know. The work known as Domina cost about $218,000 and was precious to the location. Obviously. It is not known yet if the tourist will be charged or forced to pay for the damages. What? Justice! I demand justice! Or we could talk about other people smashing stuff, like when tourists smashed some Vatican statues. In 2022, an American tourist smashed 2 ancient Roman sculptures at the Vatican in a blind rage. Of course, dude. Probably another Julian. In the Musei Caramanti Museum, an adult man entered and aggressively insisted that he speak to the Pope Francis. Obviously, he was denied the request. I want to talk to the Pope! They're like, yeah, no, we can't. He's like, oh, god damn! He responded in anger by hurling an ancient sculpture to the floor. Vatican staff and security began to chase after him, and on his way out, he toppled another one over. Oh, God. The sculptures were not fully destroyed, but severely damaged. The man was forced out of the museum and handed to the authorities. Reportedly, he had been in trouble in the past for gross indecency in the U.S. Black Friday, dude, I'm telling you. This is definitely a Black Friday Best Buy guy who's like toppling over little girls and shit. And if actions like this continue to take place, it is yet again another historical spot that will halt tourists from entering. Which I say, good. Don't let them in, dude. F us. We're all dumb. This is, we're not going. Seriously, Japan trip canceled. We're not going now. You know where we're gonna go? We're gonna go Yellowstone. We're all gonna throw ourselves into the hot springs. Or an 18-year-old American lights 7 fires in Tokyo. That's you when you're denied Asian pussy. That was a stray. I'm sorry. That was a stray. He did this not just once, but 7 times in various parts of the region. 1 fire wasn't enough. I better do this 7 times in total. He was arrested after being caught lighting a fire in Nihonbashi. As the police began an investigation, they were able to tie 6 other nearby fires within 1.2 mile radius to the same person. Imagine lighting 7 fires, like barely over a mile. Most instances were trash cans lit on fires. Is the same guy? When he was questioned by police to his motives, he told them that he did not remember anything that occurred. This man was arrested on charges of arson and further investigation is underway. So at least he's arrested. Or the Torii Shrine gets destroyed with coins from tourists. In 2018, tourists inadvertently destroyed the Ikushima Shrine's Torii Gate. This torii is placed in the middle of a bay, but is able to be visited up close when the tide is low. This is when tourists come to take photos and videos. The lower parts of the gate that are often submerged in water are noticeably damaged. Over time, tourists began shoving coins in these cracks as an attempt to bestow some kind of good luck. Not only does this donation technique fit with traditional donation practices, the cracks are being enlarged due to the coins and slowly destroying the torii. Over time, it is believed the gate will be severely damaged if this practice continues, which we all know that it will. It's just gonna happen. It's gonna be destroyed because people are terrible. And then lastly, we're gonna talk about a couple who tried to steal over $1 million in wine. Or tourists. We're going to steal $1 million in wine. Last year, 2 tourists were in prison for stealing $1.6 million in bottled wine. Priscilla, a former Mexican beauty pageant star, and her partner, Constantine, stayed at a luxury hotel that was next door to a Trio, a 3 Michelin star fine dining restaurant in Spain. After eating at the restaurant, they went on a group's tour of the wine cellar, which featured vintage bottles that cost up to $371,000 apiece. Using the information from the tour, the 2 of them returned to their hotel room to plan their heist. It began with Priscilla ordering room service late into the night, around 2 a.m., when only one man was working the front desk. As he left to deliver it, her husband stole his key card and used it to gain access to the wine cellar. This is I was going to say a movie. You gotta believe that. They made off with 45 bottles of high-priced wine and escaped at around 5 a.m. They were ultimately caught and arrested at the Albanian-Croatian border. Both of them were sentenced to several years in prison for armed robbery and were forced to pay 753,000 euro, which is basically $800,000. The couple has the ability to appeal the court's decision and seem to want to do so under the lawyer's claim that 45 bottles do not fit into 2 sports bags. This case is still ongoing. I mean, 45 bottles, Your Honor, into 2 Nike bags. Like, we have video footage of you. Please. All I know is this. Tourists are terrible. Like I said, I'm canceling my flights. We're not going. No more. We're not doing it. I'm never stepping into a zoo again. All I'm going to do is I'm going to sit in my house and I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry over the atrocities of the world and these tourists. And all I can do is beg God to forgive us all. I don't know. Tourists suck, dude. Here's a tip for you. If you're in Japan, don't run in front of geishas and try to take pictures like a idiot. Are you kidding me? It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. But until the next one, I'll see you then. Yeah, bye.